All right, today we're doing a race here coming to you from the Charlotte Roval. Um, haven't done one of these in a while. Um, so we'll do the course reconnaissance thing. We're turning down. Let's back it up for a second there. So we come down the front track part of the track, the straightaway here for the NASCAR oval, and then we hang a left from the infield, from the front straight down into the infield here. The track dips kind of down as we turn up left to go up over this ramp that kind of goes over the pit road area. Little bit slightly tricky here as the track is changing angles left to right, up and down the whole time through here. Got to get the thing slowed. You see I mixed the apex there big time. Um, and so that's not great here. We did a little bit better getting close to that apex there. You can run all the way wide here, coming out of this turn here, down this sort of short chute, staying all the way out wide here, turning in right about where those curbs are, just trying to miss those curbs on the inside because they unsettle the car a little bit, braking hard right here, trying to be a lot closer to that wall. We could have been a car width closer there. This is also a tricky part. It's hard to tell with this camera angle, but there's a elevation and it drops back down here and comes back up again. So that helps your steering when the track is kind of coming up towards you and hurts your steering and traction grip on the rear when you're coming over that rise because it unweights the car. Um, Going through NASCAR turn two, we're back up onto the oval part of the track, and go ahead and speed this up a little here. We're going half speed there so I could talk over it. Uh, those turns, we're coming down the NASCAR back straight here. Hard braking into the chicane. This is really easy to get wrong. Getting these over these curbs, you can clip those curbs a bit, but too much and it'll send you flying in the air. Then it's a matter of whether you're flying straight or flying kind of crooked. Um, Part of the trouble with that is if there's a car next to you as you enter that chicane back there on the back straightaway, you got to decide if you're gonna go for it and play a game of chicken for them to slow down or you to slow down. So that's the trick. Coming here off the banking out of NASCAR turn four onto this infield section is a little bit tricky. Finding your braking marker, and also there's a transition right there where you go from banked part of the track. It's a little bit hard to see right here, but banked part of the track onto the flat part of the track. It's a little more shocking in the car. Uh, so if we back it up here, uh, watch the kind of camera bounce right there. You're under hard braking right when that's happening, so that can uh, you can lock the tires potentially right there. Um, but coming in here is a good spot to outbrake the competition here. I'm doing an AI race here today with a range of I think like 32 to 50% on the AI. So they're like amateur to like mid-level professional AI we're racing against, and then back onto the front straight. And that's a lap. We're gonna go ahead and jump to the race. 35 cars in the race. I start 35th, and just makes it uh, kind of fun and interesting and challenging the whole time. Let's go start with chase view, and then we might change views here in a second here. I didn't get my RPMs up, but it's fine because the AI kind of backs up a little bit here on the start. And so I kind of don't really want to pass anybody until we get to about the start finish line, just to make it kind of a interesting challenge for myself. Cold tires and all that. You have to be real careful to start with so many cars. It can be kind of a sort of cars checking up for other cars. Like right here, you see them all check up. They're all kind of going slower because they got to slow down for the car in front of them. Um, but it's fun. It's a fun challenge and practice here. Don't want to push too hard yet. The tires and the brakes are still cold. You hear squeaking a little bit from time to time. That's the brakes warming up. They're that whine right there you might have heard. It's kind of a ringing. Once they get warm, they brake a little better, and you stop hearing that sound. These back few cars are definitely a bit easier to pass. Their skill level is a bit lower, but it starts getting a bit tougher. You see there, it upset the car coming over those that curbing. Now, as we come in off the banking here at a 4, you can see how much we can close up under braking generally. On some cars here, you still hear the brakes kind of squeaking there. We made up a bit of ground. I'm going to go ahead and switch camera angles. I kind of forced my way in there a little bit. The AI is not super consistent with how hard and where they're going to brake on some of these turns, especially the lesser skilled AI. So it can kind of catch you out sometimes if you didn't quite expect them to brake so early. Oof, that was not good. Accidentally got into that car. That was, I did not intend to bump. Ended up losing or almost losing a position back to the green car that we had already passed. Coming up onto the oval part of the track there, it's a very difficult turn. You want to carry as much speed as you can, but if you carry too much, you brush that outside wall. Here's what I was talking about before of it gets really hairy coming into this turn here with all these cars right around you. And we'll do a different try to squeeze my way down there. So we'll back that up to see why that happened. Um, so if we go chase view here, I had to get on the brakes a little bit earlier than the other cars here. You can see I hit my brakes a little earlier because there's so many cars in front of me. I'm just concerned that we're not all going to fit through there unless we get in a line. But I got a better exit out of there, carrying a little more speed. And so I got to run on the car in front of me. We're trying to squeeze on the inside of them. Probably would have been better off going the other way. And then try to squeeze in here. Ended up causing him to spin out. Just sort of muscling my way through there. Uh, you don't always know. You don't have perfect visibility of like where the other cars are, um, and how good their kind of avoidance skills are. The faster cars have better of all of these skills, but some of the slower cars, sort of realistic of their controllability is not as great. We generally close up under braking into this turn and generally get on the throttle a little harder than the AI cars through here. Getting the car to turn through here is a real dance on the pedals. You can kind of see here if we back it up and you watch the pedal inputs through here. We'll go slow-mo. Watch these pedal inputs here. Green bar, turn, brake, gas. I'm doing gas and brake at the same time, which is generally not good. Partial throttle, brake a little bit, full throttle, off the throttle a little bit, back to the brake, back to the throttle. You can see we're jumping around here. Real smooth, but definitely working the pedals as we're working the steering wheel. Trying to get the car rotated to get it through those turns. And so trail braking, a little bit, holding a little bit of brakes as you're turning in helps you get that car rotated. Again, here looking for it, but having to back out of it because we're just not going to make it through there. Um, and from this angle, it looks like, oh yeah, no big deal. You're following the other car in front of you. What's the big deal? However, when you are driving this, your visibility is really cut down. This is not really how it looks. Um, where's the field of view thing here? I always forget to set this. uh, Realistic field of view that I'm looking at is more like this, actually a little bit less than this even. Um, and so we'll go real speed through here. You can't see hardly anything. All you see is the brake lights of that car. Where are the curbs that you you want to touch but not hit too much of? It's really uh, just a practice and a guessing and a repetition sort of thing. So there's your slow motion. We touch the curb on the left, we're touching the curb on the right, and we're touching this curb on the left again. Got it just right. Um, doesn't happen every time. At least not for me. trying to outbrake that BMW there, and it didn't work out for us like it did the previous time. This time it was me that's going for the spin through the grass. So now gotta collect ourselves. These are 15-minute races. Gotta get right back into it. Didn't really damage the car. Didn't really feel like, or at least I couldn't notice any real problem in handling because I didn't hit the front wheels and didn't hit very hard. Um, so that helped. We got a couple scrapes, but that's about it. Seems like just cosmetic damage. Diving up under braking there. So that move you'll see a few times. Uh, this camera angle is a little closer than I'd like it to be. So if we go for our chase view here, we'll go slow-mo. So under braking here, I didn't brake quite as hard. I braked a little bit, got off the brakes, and then got back on the brakes here hard. Uh, and so getting the car dived in way closer to the apex and carried more speed into that turn, and about the same amount out as the other cars. And so that I noticed I was a spot where I was able to pick up some time on the track. And then here it's just you're trying to get the car rotated to get it onto this back onto the NASCAR part of the track and get it turned enough so you don't get up into that wall. And then here, this close to the car, I'm trying to beat him down to the line to sort of squeeze in there. And I didn't quite get it done, but I had a little bit of momentum. So I knew I wasn't going to get a penalty if I kept at least 2 tires on the banked part of the surface. So that was the deal there. So here we see it's a game of chicken here as we're going in here, and we touch, and we live. It's definitely a little bit sideways. And if we watch the controls, I'm going to turn it to the right because my car is sliding. Turn it back to the left to catch the slide. Still not on gas or brake, and still trying not to hit that wall. Jump it here. Show you what I mean by jump. You can probably see it from this angle a little bit. We'll go slow motion. Watch where the front of the car is right now, the splitter. Those right side tires get a little bit of air underneath them. And we're going again. So we're still alive. Heavy braking. Closed up. Decent amount of ground on that green-white car in front of us. I don't know if you heard the crew chief there. I have it go ahead and set to use some interesting language. Makes it more fun. He'll use some 4-letter words. Got a great exit there. You can see we're making up ground on the car in front of us. Probably going to dive it here under braking in again. Beat that car into that section without a problem. Struggling to find a good camera angle here. You see how much ground we have to make up to the car in front of us? 1.1 seconds, just in time. The crew chief told us. So we need to make up 1.1 seconds to catch that car in front of us, and we'll make up a ton of it under braking into the chicane and through the chicane. Watch this. For whatever reason, I just get into there really good. I have kind of a mental marker of where I want to be turning in, and it's been working for most cars. Kind of have to adjust it car by car a little bit of what the brakes can do, with what kind of grip you have, and also how close the cars are in front of you. If there's cars right in front of me, I might not be able to be that aggressive, but when I know I got to make up a lot of ground, I'm a little more aggressive, knowing I'm not going to hit anybody by coming in there right at the limit. But if I'm side by side with somebody or trying to pass somebody, I also might be at the limit, as long as there's not cars directly in front of me. Again, here, beat the car down, back down to the line. The reason I don't usually go to the outside uh, is it's a longer way around. Here I can have a little bit shorter way around by taking that inside through NASCAR turn 2. Again, braking a little bit early because I can't see and I don't want to be right on his bumper if he makes a little mistake, and he did. But now I don't quite have a car width there, but I'm forcing it. Got my, but now I'm kind of suboptimal position here in the braking. Oh, and he gets my right rear quarter under braking, but still, we live to fight another day. Back on the front straight, took down another one. This turn I like, this left it right here. And the trick for me on that one is keeping my eyes looking far enough ahead, looking at towards the turn and through the turn, to figure out if I think I can make it. Here I'm just kind of waiting, trying to time it to be able to get on the throttle early coming out of there, and I'm right sucked up behind the car in front of me. Um, and so it looks like no big deal, but this is actually a skill that takes some practice of being able to drive this close to another car in front of you. You can't see much. And I peek out, but I'm not going to dive it in because I don't think he's going to give me the space. And I didn't really have the momentum to take the spot yet. And you could see that sawing on the wheel right there. We'll go slow motion and watch the angle of the wheel here. This little diagram here. It's showing the wheel turn to the right, turn to the left, unwinding a little bit. Um, and you see the working on the gas and the brake there again. Um, it's kind of a lot going on. Here I didn't get down there quick enough. I wasn't close enough to kind of duck underneath them. And I have a little bit of a run, but not enough to pass him.
Okay, Joe, 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes left.
Not enough to really pass him going into this chicane. So you just kind of wait. Be patient. Don't force it, because otherwise we're just going to die in that turn, and that's going to be the end of our race. Under drafting, got a little bit of room. And you can see the car wiggle. The green car wiggled. Accidentally got into the back of that white McLaren a little bit. Just misjudged the braking a hair. Right there, it could have been closer to the apex. I was not often getting this turn as good as I would like to. Look at where this green car is here. That's where I want to be, is those tires, like even closer to that, kind of where the orange car was, where the tires are on that curb. Again, right on the car in front of me. I had to even brake a little bit in the turn not to run over the back of them, because there really wasn't room to dive out yet. And again, trying to beat them to the apex there. But we're getting into the better drivers now. They're a little quicker. Not that they're any faster on the straightaway. They don't have any more power in their cars. They take the turns a little better. They brake a little better. They accelerate a little sooner. And so all that makes them harder to pass. Again, got a little better exit. Hopping the curbs, taking a little more risk on the exit of that chicane, and it pays off. So now we gotta set sail. Now we gotta set sail and try to catch the next one in front of us. So we're up alongside them enough that I'm going to go side by side through this turn here. And the AI usually tries to battle back on the outside. We'll see it back it up here for a second. If we switch the camera, the AI kind of battles back here. If we watch this view, I'm diving it in there, but it comes back hard right there on the outside. Uh, but then still has to get a lot of turning done, and so I can usually still beat them there. This camera doesn't rotate with the angle of the car, so it kind of gives you an idea of the banking. I think it's about 30 degrees of banking through there, something like that.
That's 2 minutes left. 2 minutes.
2 minutes left of the race. These are 15-minute races. I was happy with this race. I haven't driven these cars in a while. I only had a little bit of practice, but I've been fooling around with this track with different cars this week, and I don't know. I was happy with this race. I felt like I put it together. I didn't make too many big mistakes. Uh, got into a couple cars on that final chicane. One that caused us to spin out, but I like the aggression that I had. Um, I didn't make any mistakes on the chicane on the back straight. Like my judgment was good there of uh, biding my time and getting them on the exit, not trying to race too many cars into the chicane. But when I did race them into the chicane, um, it was just enough that they sort of gave up the fight right before we got there, for the most part, except for that one that we got kind of sideways through there, went through side by side with. But in some of my other races, this has been a super dangerous spot for the AI. For me, um, there you see the advantage. Just a little more aggressive on the exit. And watch this under braking. Close right up generally. It's not making up as much ground as I was on those other cars, but still closing up a bit. Now I know there's 3 cars here, so they're going to have to brake a little earlier. A bit of trail braking through these turns of getting the helping get the car turned. You see there's a little bit of blocking up going on in front of us. These two guys are getting to racing each other, and so I'm thinking, oh man, I might be able to get both of them if they keep this up. Still got a car to the inside. Got to give them room. Got to give them room through here too. So it's slowing us both down right out to the wall. So now it's going to be out braking him into the chicane here is going to be the challenge. Got it. So once you nail that first one, it's kind of a hope and a prayer a little bit that you've made up enough ground that you clear them to take the second one. So I gave him a little bit of room on that second, the left-hander, hoping I had done enough to beat him, and I had. This is the end of the race. It just that was the finish right there that we came across. So I had passed that car right before we got to the line coming down the front straight. So that was the end of the race. Was crossing the line right around here somewhere, right here ish, right there. That's the end. So we passed this car just in time. Uh, Finished ninth. Um, 30, 30 something cars. 36 cars, 35 cars. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that one. Lap times. Practicing, looks like I got down to 121, 134 on my first flying lap. And then in the race, we got down to that point a few times. Um, so that was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed that race. Thanks for watching.